Hiya, I'm Joey Reynolds. If you're looking at the world upside down, you've probably got a bad attitude. I'm looking at it, the left side? A little sideways? Right side? I don't know, there's no right side. there's only the wrong side. I have been thinking a lot about this election. And, I've done a lot of years of not having any politics on the air. And even if we had the other talk show hosts who did political shows, they probably wouldn't even tell you what they really think. I think I need a haircut. And I think I'm a faggot. Look at that's it. But I also know that I have really a lot of friends who don't talk to me anymore because of my politics. And they don't want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to them. And none of us have gotten together in a long time because we can't get it together. And you know the saying, it came from the beginning, a nation divided cannot stand. More to the point is I can't stand a nation divided. That's more self-centered. And that's what we've become. See, a lot of things have changed. Like me, I've changed. And people have changed. And the society has changed. And we're not celebrating victories over a lot of our addictions, but we are facing them, and we have help, we have hope, and we also have a lot of commercials on television, and enough already with the commercials, with the pharmaceuticals. I half these things, I don't even know what they're for. I'm old and I don't take them. I don't know what the hell they're for. I don't have OCD, ICA, I got upper US, the upper US. I have a disease now where I've lost a lot of my friends. They don't want to hear from me. They don't want me to talk politics. They don't want me to mention anything about my belief system. And I don't want to hear theirs either at this point. I don't want to hear anybody's. But I got to the point now where it's almost election day. And this is the time when everybody should really be thinking about what we're doing. And it's hard to figure out because all these messages keep coming into our brains. We've had so many contacts with opinions. We used to say on the talk radio that opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. But it's far more serious than that now. It's not that easy. Everybody has an opinion based on what? Where did it come from? We don't want to learn. First of all, we don't have the patience we used to have. We're in an instant society. Everything's push button, press button. That's why AM radio died, incidentally. It stays on a little bit because it has a push button effect, but it doesn't serve us with what we need to have. It gives us what they want us to have. And we need to have a voice. You need somebody that comes out and says the things like I'm doing now. I was a shock jock. I was shocking because I was myself. That I didn't find that to be shocking. The country did, and I had a lot of success with it. And then, of course, years later, the Howard Stern, the Imus, and I worked with them. I was at NBC. I did the same deal. And we had also WOR when I was there 15 years, and Bob Grant came over from ABC. They hired him because he got fired by ABC Disney because he made some disparaging comments about blacks, allegedly. So he came over to our side. And I like Bob very much because he was funny and very Italian. And back then, he was all about the Republicans and the conservative talk. And all these guys are conservative talk. What the hell is conservative talk? Because none of them are conservative because they all got away with whatever they wanted to do. That's liberal. That's not conservative at all. Rush Limbaugh I worked with him in Pittsburgh. He is not conservative. He was opinionated, and he said what he thought was going to work for him to get ratings. That's not conservative. It's the same thing with Trump. Trump is playing the room. This is a Shakespearean play. This is a joke on America. And you don't get it, see, because you're not in the business. You're in the viewing area. You're the enemy. I'll bet you don't know how most of the recording artists that you have seen in amphitheaters, who have you revered everybody from the Beatles to David Bowie. It depends on who it is. Journey, Police, Sting, whoever it was, you have spent a lot of money worshiping these people. Now, you know how they got started? They got played on the radio by a disc jockey. Now, how did that happen? Because there were record companies that hired what they called promotion men. And the promotion man, and it was men at the time, would go around and present the facts to the disc jockey to play a certain record because it was being received well in another regional area or a local area, and it had potential, and you should be playing it. And also, the promotion men gave us the jobs. They told us who was getting fired, where they're going. You didn't even know there were promo men, did you? You didn't know that. Did you know that? I know all of them because I was the #1 disc jockey. That's why. And they all came to me because they wanted to have their records played. That's how records became hits, and the hit records made legendary artists. And you have paid trillions of dollars to see these people. Now, how do you think Taylor Swift got to where she got? I mean, we're not saying about talent. That's a whole, you better have some talent. But we're talking about how do you get there? It's lobbying. So in the government, they criticized us for taking payola. They said, you know, you guys are getting paid to play records and you're making hit artists and you got your name as a recording artist writer when you weren't really the writer. Dick Clark did that. And he did. He went before Congress. It's in the congressional record. A lot of people got scandalized, but they weren't brought public for their scandal. And there were promotion men who were doing all of this lobbying work, but it wasn't announced because the country is run on people who are behind the scenes. And you don't know who they are or how they're doing it. How would you? You're not in it. Any one of these jobs I just mentioned is a profession. Even lobbyists, what do? They take money representing sponsors. They go into a Congress or a senator or even a president, and they say, okay, we're going to give you a certain amount of money. Now we want you to do this. And that's what happens. That's how Trump got to where he is. He knows more about this than Biden. Why? Because that's what he's been doing all his life. That's why. He's been doing this with buildings. You know, he built a concrete building at the Trump Towers. It's all concrete. No steel, all concrete. Very ingenious. And he went to the city and said that he had the bank money. Then he went to the bank and told the bank that the city gave him a permit. Neither was true. He didn't have the bank money, and he didn't have, but he did, during the concrete strike, he still had, I'm Italian, he still had us go over there and give him the concrete he needed, and he built the Trump Towers. That's the one thing he's done, one of them. So, but you see, when you tell somebody that, they don't care. They just care that there's a Trump Tower, or that he's got balls, or that he's very something or other. I had a text from a friend of mine today, who I sent him one of these text things. I said the new hit record ought to be what is it? Harris Waltz. Yeah, the Harris Waltz. I said that would be a great dance. I'm trying to have fun, like Bill Maher. He's a little marred. He's not that attractive, but he gets all these young-looking women. Gee, I wonder how. So this is how people are in this society. We're really all very liberal. We're spoiled. We have our own way. We've been able to do it our way since Burger King. Everybody can do whatever they want to do whenever they want, and you can do it till you get away with it. And then when you get away with it, other people want to imitate you. But there are things that people don't like, and then they come and sue us. You notice that all these sex crimes are showing up now on television, from childhood to adulthood, even with, oh God, you know the names, you know who they are. It's ruined careers, ruined Bill Cosby's career, ruined the morning guy on NBC, Bill O'Reilly, everybody. Listen, we all got here because somebody had sex. That's how you get here, you know. I hate to break the news to you. And you know, when you have this birthright, to be in this free country and do whatever you want to do until you get stopped, caught, and fined. Then you have to not do this anymore. But that's what Trump is all about. He keeps going. And people are amazed. They want to see how the son of a bitch is going to get away with it. That's the amusing, that's the entertainment we have. Because we've had a science and a political world we live in. And we have made, even baseball has a science to it. They changed the golf game. They found a way to get the ball into the air faster and better. We've applied science to all of our activities. Now we have turned politics into an art, and we've turned an art into a science. So we should all be giving the Academy Award for the Super Bowl, which wouldn't be a bad day to vote, incidentally. I don't know why we're doing all this stuff that on television and radio. You guys they're riling up the public, confusing the shit out of everybody. Why are we doing this? What do you get out of it? What do you personally get out of Trump? What do you personally get out of Kamala Harris? What are you getting from these people? They're only pawns on the chessboard of life. That's all they are. And Putin, who cares about this guy's he's a wannabe. He's a short bully. And he has pushed a country around. Can you imagine bringing the North Koreans in to do your war? That you imported people who have no careers, because in North Korea, the reason North Korea is in bad shape is because it's not South Korea. South Korea has an economy. They have cars and banks and Western civilization. And North Korea, they got these little marching drones. They're little soldiers that are supported by the military. That's how countries make money. They have a war and they get money and they go and they pay for all the uniforms and the people in it and on and on and on. You know, I mean, it's a game. But we are in this whole serious time where you have to decide which game you want to play. There's 3 of them from the Parker Brothers. They're well named and they are appropriate now. Written during the 40s, I think, was Monopoly. Monopoly is a Parker Brothers game. It's a board game you play. Kids play it now too, again. The other one they play is Sorry. That's another Parker Brothers game. And the third one is Chance. And we're practicing all 3 of them. We have Monopoly, I'm Sorry, and we're taking a chance. The Parker Brothers ought to be running the country. In a way, they are. So what are we doing now? What are we doing? We're sitting here watching me saying, he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's full of crap, or I don't agree with him. I don't care if you agree with me, so what? I'm not going to be fired. I'm my own boss. I work for me. If I'm going to fire me, believe me, I will give myself a lot of money. I'll take a good retirement plan. Thank you very much. So when you vote next week or so, if you're voting, I don't know why we vote ahead of time anyway. I never heard of that one until this year. Boy, everybody's voting ahead of time. They can't wait to get it out of your system because that's all television is about. TV is about voting. It's about elections. It's about all of these people who are vying for attention. And we've been on it for years. And this whole thing that is psychological now, this will send you to therapy. The worst thing a person can do is have low self-esteem. Then you can't pull out of it easily. That's what happened with poverty people, including the black community for a number of years. Hopefully we're not celebrating that now. But we have a country of low self-esteem, people that don't think well of themselves and they don't operate. Now, that's not everybody, because then there's those who think better than they're better than everybody. So you have a difference. And a nation divided cannot stand, and that's what we have. So how are you going to get everybody together? It's not going to be with a president. I hope you don't think that, because and this wild card of Trump, that he gets in office and he's going to fire everybody. Get out of here. We have 30 million employees. Do you know that in the government? What's he going to do? Is he going to become president and fire everybody? And Kamala Harris, what's she going to do? I mean, they just don't have that kind of power. they have a certain amount of it, and they have access to the public on video, radio, television. I think podcasts. If you're running for president on a podcast is for guys who can't get jobs on radio. That's what it's been. And yet, whether it's Rogan, is that his name? Joe Rogan has 2 million hits. I got 3 or 4 hits. I don't have anybody watching me. My family won't even watch me. My family doesn't. Some of them like Trump, and the others don't tell me who they like. It's all strange. It's different. And nobody wants to lose. But I want to win. And my way of winning is to put everybody at the same party, put everybody at the same table. And I don't know how to do that yet. I don't know how to settle that border issue. I don't think that is anything that anybody ever had in mind. We weren't looking at fentanyl as being an item that was going to be a cartel item. I'm still old. I was working on marijuana. We're lucky that it's medical now. It wasn't medical when I did the documentary on my daughter who grew up in Humboldt County for years. They made more money when the government wasn't involved because the government takes its fair share, unfair share. I could do this all day, and I'm not going to. I'm going to sign off now. But one of my friends today, I started this conversation, reminded me that he doesn't want me to text him anymore about Trump. And I shot him back and says, what I think you ought to do is, you're a military guy, you're a patriot, and I don't think you're watching what he's saying. I don't think you're paying attention. And most Americans are forgiving of that because they think that they got a television personality that's going to step into the job and everything's going to be ginger peachy. It isn't going to be that. That's not what this guy is about. You're voting for him. You're voting for an exit plan on this society. Now, if you want it to be different, then go ahead and make it different. But don't go and help think a codependent is going to do it for you. It ain't going to happen. Never happens. It never has. It never will. Incidentally, there are people that didn't like George Washington. And there are people that got lied to by Lincoln. And Roosevelt, his wife was running a lot of the country. Nobody's perfect. Just take it out of your head. None of these people, a lot of them are just what you think they are based on commercials. Television. Now that's where this starts. This is radio and television conservative. And they're not conservative at all. Not with their big mouths and their sex lives. I wouldn't call that conservative. Would you? And what about one of these senators? Their daughter gets pregnant. You think that guy's going to be real happy when she wants to have an abortion? And you know the Catholic Church, you think they got their minds on abortion? I don't think the Catholic Church has its mind on a lot of things right now. I think the Catholic Church is trying to save the Catholic Church. I think they're trying to get people to go back to church. And the way you're going to do that is by practicing the religion that you learned, by honoring God first and money second. It's a Reynolds Wrap.